Hello, I see you're interested in the Corsa with
mobile connectivity.
Exactly.
And advanced European engineering for a fun dynamic drive.
All for just £149 initial rental, then £149 a month.
Really?
Search Corsa Energy. Vauxhall. British brand since 1903. Personal contract hire offer on Corsa 3-door Energy 1.4 75 PS in metallic paint. Initial rental £149 plus 47 months at £149. Excess miles over contracted mileage of 20,000 over 48 months, charged at 5 pence per mile. You will not own the car. T's and C's apply. Offer ends March 31st, 2018. Offer not available with free insurance.
Ladies and gentlemen, podcasting since 2005. You were listening to Gamer Tag Radio with your hosts Godfrey, Pete Rock, Paris, Pasta. Come on, come on, come on. Yeah.
Welcome to Gamer Tag Radio 498. This is your host, Godfrey. Also, you can call me Danny. We have this week, we're actually the weekly co-hosts. Let's start off with Patrick. Patrick, what's up?
What's up, guys? I'm doing good.
Yeah?
Just a typical Thursday night recording, good weather, good vibes. Gonna play some more games later. Pretty good week, and I don't know, it feels like we're getting close to that magical hour. I think once, the 25th comes into the month, September 1st, 2 big games, Gears of War, Metal Gear Solid come out. I mean, I'm just ready at this point. Just psychologically get myself ready, because, once it starts, it's the wave, man. You own both systems like I do, there's way too much stuff to play.
Speaking of Metal Gear, I'm going to introduce this other guest here. Not guest, co-host, I mean. What the hell's wrong with me? Paris is here. Paris, he is not buying Metal Gear. And I'm wondering why. You never answered that question last week.
And I won't. How about that?
Okay.
I'll answer it. Matter of fact, I will answer it in fan mail.
Oh, fan mail.
Okay, because we got an email about that,
Perfect.
if you remember.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we have a lot of fan mail. And couple voicemails too, which is cool. We're gonna play that later on today. Also, Pete Rock. Pete, what's up? By the way, good morning, Pete. I know you just
fully rested.
You had a nap.
Completely rested. Yes, feeling great, fantastic.
Yeah.
How are you guys?
Here, man. We were just waiting for you. Like, man, is he even awake? And then I call him. He sends me a message. Oh, guys, sorry, I just woke up. I'll be right there.
Yeah, man. What? I love my couch. My couch is so comfortable.
Oh, man. That's cool. How's everything, man?
I'm good. Busy, but that just means that life is good right now. So I'm happy. Doing
I
good.
hope you're ready for September and on. Lots of games, man, coming out, man.
Yeah, I know.
Busy,
Taken King's coming out. That's I'll be happy. I got all level 34 characters. Let's go. Had to bring out Destiny at least once.
I know, right? That's all you're getting for the holidays? Just that game? Just that the game? That's it?
Maybe a little. I mean, there's some of the newer stuff is starting. It's not really new stuff, but it starts in the next week or two with Gears of War, and then that's when the craziness happens. It's like 2007 all over again.
Yeah. Well, we'll talk about that later on, but I think it's gonna be next year, and that's gonna be insane. So, all right. So head over to gamertagradio.com. Post your comments and feedback. Also, head over to play.it to listen to our past episodes and share it with your friends. You could also subscribe through iTunes, Stitcher, TuneIn Radio, or if you have the beta of Spotify, you could also follow us and listen to the show through there. Give us a call, 786-2... What?
All 5 of you with the beta, because no one else seems to be.
Hey, I'm the cool one. I have it. P hits me up all the time, like, hey, man, there's a new update. Let me update my Spotify app. Comes back, he's like, damn it, still no podcast. What the hell's going on? Anyways, give us a call, 786-273-7GTR. That's 786-273-7GTR. Email us, fanmail@gamertagradio.com. All right, I think it's about that time to have a little mini rant, because I'm getting kind of tired of of this thing going on with Capcom. Just recently, they just announced Resident Evil 2 HD is coming out for the next gen consoles, which is cool. I'm okay with that, right? But when a company is only releasing remakes HD nonstop and there's not enough new content, I'm getting kind of tired of that, man. You know, like I know Microsoft, they're doing the same thing, right? Releasing old stuff, but at the same time, there's new content. Same thing with EA, all new content. I think they are the only ones that haven't released any HD or remake stuff. And PlayStation, Uncharted this year. That's it, right?
Gears of War, God of War.
God of War, I forgot. Yeah, I don't know, man. What are your thoughts about that? The Capcom, that they've been doing is just releasing like remakes.
Oh, well, here's the other question you have to ask yourself: is Capcom, as a third-party publisher right now, even in a position financially to fund a brand new IP? I would say outside of Street Fighter, what does Capcom really have going on right now? I don't necessarily think they can take that risk. They probably need Street Fighter V to be a success. They probably need these HD remakes to bring in some capital for them before they actually invest into trying to bring out a new IP. Do I like it? Absolutely, I don't like it. I want to see new IPs, but it's just the nature of the industry that we're in right now. These publishers have to be very careful when they introduce something new out there to gamers, because if we don't accept it, you'll have another Sunset Overdrive on your hands.
Oh, hey.
And I'm not saying it to trash Sunset Overdrive. I'm just saying the reality of it is Sunset Overdrive was not a success financially. At least it wasn't successful enough that Microsoft hasn't automatically greenlit a sequel to it. So if Capcom takes that risk with a game and it tanks, that could tank the entire company. They could go under.
I think that the only way they could put this off, if they make like a deal with either Microsoft or Sony, because the last two games that I remember from Capcom that's like brand new next gen is the Dead Rising game that came out for the Xbox One during launch, right?
Yeah, and then poof.
Well, that one, it did good because it was just zombies and
It
Microsoft
showed off
really
the
marketing.
initial power of the console by having all the properties on screen. It served its purpose, I would say.
Yeah, and now with the whole Street Fighter deal that they have with PlayStation, like that, things like that will work. So they could easily work on the new games. They just got to make those deals with these companies.
Yeah, but listen to what you just said, though. You know, Microsoft, you've heard Phil Spencer here in the last few months. They're dedicating all their resources internally. They're going to stop doing all these third-party things unless it just truly makes sense. So chances are them working with Capcom again, slim. PlayStation, it's the same thing. I mean, they obviously already have a deal going with Street Fighter, but you look at their portfolio moving forward, they're trying to get away from that as well. So what other option does Capcom really have?
If I recall correctly, I think they only have one new IP in development. Was it Deep Down for the PS4? But that's really it. They really aren't working on anything else. It's primarily, building on what they've already succeeded on with Street Fighter and everything else.
Well, they have released like Monster Hunter for the 3DS. I mean, they're doing fine with that game.
It's a very successful series, and again, worldwide release. I mean, honestly, I would say Resident Evil 7 probably already exists, maybe in a conceptual stage, highly unlikely in anything playable, even alpha. I think they still want to do it because that still is a big name, but obviously after 6, they really had to go back to the drawing board, figure out what they want to do. I'm sure they have noticed what Konami did with PT, and they've responded to that, because hopefully they're going to come up with something fresh and original. But like their business practice said, they have made it clear that HD remakes are going to be part of their business portfolio moving forward, because it guarantees, a certain amount of money into their pockets every year, because the Capcom does have a really amazing library of back catalog of games. They've proven that with the Devil May Cry remakes. They've proven that Resident Evil remakes are successful. I think 2 will be very successful because to most people that is the best Resident Evil. So I think that game definitely could use a nice overhaul. Do we need future games in the series remade? Probably not. I think 3, 4, and onwards hold up very well. 4 was already remade a long time ago. So I just think
5
going
comes
forward,
out in a couple years also, right? Street Fighter 5?
Oh, I was talking about Resident Evil. the fact they're remaking Resident Evils. And of course, Street Fighter, of course, they will continue to develop and make new versions, the Super Street Fighter 5s, the old Street Fighter 5s. That's just part of the market. I just hope that, they won't be limited by the PlayStation only market. If anything, I hope people buy a PS4 for that game. I know if I didn't already have one, I would, because I love Street Fighter that much, but I'm curious to know how well Street Fighter can still do in this hyper-competitive market with so many other things available. And if you have an Xbox One, you're certainly probably not going to buy that system for one fighting game. But I'd be curious to see. But I still like Capcom after all these years. They're still one of my favorite developers. They just have hit rough times right now, but I think they'll make it through it. I mean, other companies have made it through worse, in my opinion.
Yeah, well, look at Sega.
Yeah, look at Sega. Exactly. I was just thinking Sega when I said that. I mean, other companies, trust me, have gone through much worse times. And I think Capcom's fine. Just they need time, I think.
But are you saying that more because of the nostalgia factor?
Not as nostalgia, but just
I kind of think you are, but go ahead.
I think the gameplay still holds up, and I'm more biased towards Resident Evil and Street Fighter, and Devil May Cry. Obviously, is my big three for Capcom. It just really kind of depends on the mood I'm in. I think Devil May Cry is a pretty timeless game. Resident Evil, it's a situational thing. 1 and 2, and even 3 by that standards, are very hard, very focused games. You had to be in that mindset and in that atmosphere. Otherwise, they don't really work, in my opinion. They're not like 4 where anybody can just jump in and have a fresh experience. So I just think the fans will be attracted to it. I think obviously if it runs and looks well enough, new fans will be like, well, I never played Resident Evil 2. This looks like the perfect time to try it. Why go back and play a PS1 version when I got a newer one to look at? So yeah, nostalgia definitely plays a factor, but I think Capcom does have strong game lineups that are still fun to play even after all this time. But again, as they said, they just want to make money. And, again, if it's being expanded to a larger audience that wasn't there beforehand, I got no problem with that, because if anything, that still funds development of the next AAA game that they want to make. So fingers crossed. We'll see.
Well, I hope they create something new. I'm just waiting.
I would like
I'm a huge fan of Capcom. I'm just getting tired of the same old.
I'm with you. If it wasn't for Street Fighter and how much I love it, I'd be pretty mad at Capcom right now. But thankfully, they are focused on Street Fighter. They are serious about it after the launch of 4, and 5 looks like it's going to have no shortage of fan support, pro support, all over the board. So I'm hyped. I'm going to get my copy day one. I'm going to buy my PS4 Fight Stick just for the system in that one game. So I know I'm an outlier, but I wish Capcom the best. They're definitely going to get my money come whenever Street Fighter 5 comes out.
Welcome to Play It, a new podcast network featuring radio and TV personalities talking business, sports, tech, entertainment, and more. Play it at play.it.
You're listening to Gamer Tag Radio.
Paris, I know you mentioned to me like a couple of days ago during the chat about the new rumor of a update for the PlayStation 4. Can you tell us about that? Because I know you were like kind of surprised with this.
Well, I mean, the two things that we took away from it was the fact that there was going to be built-in YouTube streaming. And, oh, my God, I am blanking on what the second thing was.
The Twitter video uploads,
yeah,
I believe?
Yeah, that's right. The Twitter,
The 10 seconds of video on Twitter. Yep.
Yeah, the 10 seconds of Twitter video. So, which, again, great features. I would assume at some point Xbox One's going to get the same thing as well. But I think the bigger thing that this shows, Google/YouTube, they ain't playing. They are coming after Twitch. They want that market. And we talked about this a few months ago, but the fact that they're going to be built into the PlayStation 4, you're going to be able to stream your games live onto YouTube as well as you can Twitch right now as well. But I just think, and I've said it before, I think eventually they're going to overtake Twitch, because I think they got Google and their war chest behind them, and they're not going to let up until they're number one.
So it's basically Google versus Amazon.
Yeah.
Right? That's
I'll take my chances with Google. Personally.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Of course. But I wonder, so should Twitch, should they be worried?
Yes. Absolutely.
Yes.
They're going straight up after
not in the
their
short
only
term.
core. They only have this thing. That's all they offer. So when you have somebody that's taking them on directly with exactly the same features, and some things they're actually doing better just because of the whole search, the whole search and content stuff. I believe we covered part of that at E3 when we interviewed them. Yeah, I would absolutely be worried.
I mean, think of this, Danny. Think of this. Weren't even really out yet at E3, and they had a big presence at E3. just to let, hey, we're here. Imagine next year when we go to E3, YouTube's going to be everywhere.
That is true.
Promoting their stuff. Matter of fact, one thing that I would see on NeoGAF and some other places all the time when this news came out, a lot of people in the comments were talking about how they preferred YouTube during E3 because the streaming was flawless, where Twitch was having all kind of issues. So I don't think in the short term Twitch is in any trouble or anything. They're going to be fine, but Google's going for the long play here. Eventually, they're going to be the preferred place for all your live streaming and video game stuff. Look, when they get like the Dota championships or something like that exclusive to YouTube, that's when you know Twitch is in trouble, and that's eventually going to happen.
And you know what I think might be exclusive to YouTube? Jeff Keighley's Video Game Awards.
Yeah. Yep. That's going to happen because he hosted E3 for YouTube. So, of course, he's going to work out some deal with them and say, hey, just go to YouTube and watch it.
Because you know what? They have the budget, and they will sponsor or, help the event and stream it through YouTube, So, I see that. I see that big time.
And you bring in people that aren't traditional gamers into the fold, because usually people that are on Twitch are already gamers. But a lot of people are on YouTube. Pretty easy to stumble on something that you didn't even know you needed to watch. So it's smart.
You know what's funny? I was talking with a couple of live streamers that have accounts, like their channel is pretty popular on Twitch. And part of their contract is, they're a partner on Twitch, but they are not allowed to stream at other places like YouTube and stuff. And I think it's temporary. Like if their contract is only a year or whatever, that they only have to stream through Twitch. And YouTube is going to go after those popular live streamers and stuff for sure.
That's what I was saying a few months ago. When these contracts start coming up with these Twitch guys, YouTube is going to be all over those personalities to snatch them up and get them exclusively on the YouTube. It's going to happen. I mean, it's actually a kind of a fascinating thing to watch, because as television as we know it right now is changing and everything's going to online and streaming and everything. The rise of the gaming stream being so popular, and because what was the stat? Twitch had more viewers than like Fox or something. It was something insane that they're already doing. So there's a lot of money to be made there, and Twitch is obviously the leader in the clubhouse right now. But dude, of course, Google's going to go after that. Why wouldn't they? It'd be insane not to.
I think what you were talking about was League or Dota championships having more views than like the Super Bowl and sports combined. Absolutely. Right. I mean, it's insane the numbers. I mean, I can't even tell you how much video data has been gone through my Sprint account with my son watching Twitch account, freaking watching League and CS:GO videos. So, absolutely, there's there's big money to be made in that. And the whole thing with like Dota, the championship, was about a week ago, right? That was on ESPN. I mean, it's starting to happen. And I remember what was it, earlier this year when Colin Cowherd made a big stink about, I can't believe this is gaming. The snot-nosed basement kids are going to be, there's no way. He gone, by the way. Absolutely. Oh yeah, it's coming. I can almost envision a future where ESPN does regular video game type content.
I don't doubt it.
Oh yeah, isn't that insane? Yeah, it is insane.
It's starting ESPN too. It's going to spread. Promise.
Hey, look at it this way. I may not necessarily agree with it because I'm a bitter old man, but I mean, look at Halo 5 and what they're doing with the arena stuff. That is built from the ground up for esports and people streaming and watching it. That's what it's built for. Yeah.
And you know what? As a perfect segue, I don't know, Danny, if you want to bring it up now, but as Paris mentioned with multiplayer and with Halo.
I know you're going to bring it up. Go for it.
Okay. So there was I believe there was an interview with Peter Moore and it was related to Star Wars Battlefront and how single player isn't necessary anymore because people don't play single player anymore.
Peter Moore, why would you say that? Oh my God, I read that.
Can I slightly defend Uncle Pete here for a second?
Of course you
he
can.
was looking at the raw. He was saying for those type of games, and if you look at just the raw statistics of it, things like Call of Duty and Battlefield,
shooters, the shooter type games.
the shooters, the statistics do show the vast majority of people just jump into multiplayer and they never touch single player. If they do, they never finish it.
Correct.
So that's kind of what he was saying. But on the flip side, look at a game that EA published. Titanfall. What was the main issue with Titanfall? They had a single player that nobody knew what the hell was going on, and now the rumors say that Titanfall is going to have a proper single player. So I don't think you can necessarily just across the board say that every game doesn't need a single player. Like look at Halo. Look at me with Halo. Like I'm so bitter about Halo because I feel like they're screwing up the single player.
But see, but the Master Chief Collection, you were complaining about the multiplayer. And now you're complaining about the single player, which is like...
Wait, what are you talking about?
No, from Halo. The Halo, like...
work.
Yeah, it didn't work.
It didn't work, Danny.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Everybody's complaining.
It's a completely different thing.
No. I'm just saying that you know, personally, I love single player games. Sometimes I don't want to play online. Like I want to play a single player game, and I'm just enjoying it, you know. But for him to say that, it kind of bothered me a bit, man. It bothered me because look at Fallout 4, look at The Witcher, look at all these games. Batman.
Well, those are games without multiplayer. I mean, again, to Paris' point, it's this argument that shooters, like you said, most people don't finish the single players. You know, I guess I'm an outlier again. I love the Call of Duty single players. They're great action movies. That applies to any other game. I guess really what bothers me most here is where with a different IP where you're having to build a story from scratch, I could understand his point. But with something like Star Wars, where you already have all of the canon already established, and you can just say, here's the Battle of Endor, here's the Battle of Hoth, and you have all this stuff already, we already know what happens. You can recreate that as a single-player mission. It's pretty easy. You have all the tools already available, and you can structure it. Obviously, it was a timing thing. They didn't have enough time to make entirely a different segment, part of the game separate from the multiplayer, and that's unfortunate.
Let's say that. They should say that.
They should say that, but they won't because they don't want to make the games sound less awesome. Because the biggest thing here is the tie-in with the film. If the film came out next November, they probably would just delay this game and put a lot more work and time into it to launch with the film. But it's not going to happen because they got to have the marketing. They got to connect them.
You nailed it, Paulson. That's all this really is. That was just a cover up for, oh crap, we got to get this game out by December for episode 7. Yeah. We don't have enough time to do a proper single player. That's all it really comes down to. Hey, I'll bet you $1 million. Battlefront 2 single player.
Oh, no doubt.
Yeah.
And
the next Star Wars game, which is going to be single player focused, big time. The one that they worked on.
Also, don't forget. Yeah, all the Battlefronts. Hardline had a really decent. So I liked the single player campaign in Hardline.
Oh, it was good.
Besides the fact that it was based in Miami, but like Paulson said, I think the outlier there is that it's just they're just not done or ready. It's not just ready. It's not just not available. Mm-hmm. They're scrambling just to complete it.
Biggest thing is this has got to work day one at launch. If the servers don't work on day one, oh my God, we're going through this all over again. So that's probably the only thing they care about right now is QAing the ever-loving crap out of this game. They cannot have negative feedback when this game launches.
Let's go with this very quick, because I know you guys are huge fans of Steam. They just announced Steamboy, where you could play all these games, the majority of the games, right, from Steam to the device. Can you guys tell me a little bit about this announcement? Because I know the basics, but you guys are the pros with this, man. So.
I can tell you what it's going to be.
Okay, what's up?
Vaporware. Hey. This thing will never see the light of day. Come on. I saw that and I rolled my eyes. I was like, really? No one's going to buy this. And to be perfectly honest with you, yeah. I just read like the highlights of it, but I go, end of the day, PC gamers are not going to pick this up.
No.
History has shown us portable devices, unless your name is Nintendo, ain't going to make it. And one that's dedicated to PC gaming exclusively. And it looks like it was going to be the Steam controller, which, look, we don't even know if that thing is going to be viable or not yet. And vaporware, it'll never come out. I don't believe it.
So you guys are not excited about this at all? Because there's some listeners that hit us up, and they were like, can you guys please talk about this? Please talk about this. And I'm like, yeah, we'll talk about it. But, what is so exciting about
nothing.
this?
Nothing.
And it's $2.99. right?
So much.
Yeah, that's what I'm
For
saying.
that, just get a Nexus 6 or a Note 4, something that plays, that plays. Granted, I understand they're trying to catch that PC gaming experience in your handheld, but we've seen experiences. The Shield, as great as it worked, it wasn't what it wasn't what PC gaming, and that's my opinion. I'm sure there's message boards, there's whole subreddits that are devoted to people who want these, but it didn't work. It was a gimmick that didn't pan out.
Yeah.
Nope.
This is something that you would call up Ben Heck to custom make for you. Trying to mass produce something like this when it's only going to sell maybe thousands, maybe hundreds.
Yeah.
It's very small, very niche. And again, like when they say more than 1,000 games, that's 1,000 very specific games that probably also run on a phone or a tablet that you already have.
Yep.
And if you're an actual PC gamer, you are going to laugh very hard when you read the specs of this thing. 4 gigs of RAM, 720p screen, 32 gig internal storage, but it has SD card slot. I mean, just like what appeals to you on this? I don't know. I'm not even a PC gamer. I'm still like, I mean, I can't play
Well, that's what I'm
Heroes of the
saying.
Storm on this, for example.
As a PC, there. You know what? That's perfect, Peter. That's exactly what it is. A portable Ouya. Because why would I get this? I mean, if I wanted a portable device, I'm just going to use my phone or I'm going to use my iPad. I'm not going to drop another $300 on a system that, let's also be real, will be obsolete 6 months after its release because PC technology moves that fast. It's a waste of money. Gimmick. It will never come out. I will be shocked if that thing is ever on a store shelf.
I think it is coming out. It's just gonna flop. That's what I think. I mean, before we take a short break, spec wise, compared to like the PlayStation Vita, and of course, I know it's more powerful than the Nintendo 3DS. Do you think it's enough?
No.
Specs wise only, not gaming. No. Okay.
No, because I'll just use my Android phone or my iPhone.
Yeah, again, you're buying those Nintendo Sony systems for their games that are not on PC or Android or iPhone and all that stuff.
Okay.
Nah.
Well, there you have it, guys. Steamboy.
Sorry to be so negative, but we just got to be honest. It's not no one wants this.
Another thing, too, very quick. This article, very interesting. Phil Spencer had an interview, and he talked about on why Xbox One catching up with the PlayStation 4 sales isn't his priority. What are your thoughts about that?
It's not his priority because he's not going to catch up.
He's not going to catch up. That's true.
And they don't need to. Like we've been saying for the last 3 weeks now, the Xbox One is selling just fine. It's not like this thing, they're in trouble or anything. They're selling way ahead of schedule of what the 360 was doing. They're coming out with all these great games now. That's what their focus needs to be on. Just keep improving the product that you have. Don't worry about the competition because, to be honest with you, they screwed that up 2 years ago. They ain't never going to catch up.
I mean, they're doing really, really good. And you know what? I'd rather see them in second place. They're more hungry, man. So I'd rather see them like this. And at the same time, too, guys, you got to understand, the Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3 are still selling. Still selling. If you check out the NPD numbers for the last month, the 360 was like still on top.
It's still the better deal if you somehow miss that entire wonderful generation. Man, you have a lot to look forward to.
Yeah, man. So it's
wait
like
till 2016 at least, and then you'll definitely know if you want a PS4 or Xbox One. Guarantee you.
Because you'll need it for Destiny 2.
Exactly.
No, but honestly, I'm very excited seeing Phil Spencer like being really, really humble and just making crazy moves, making like announcements about Windows 10 and all these discounts and free games. They're hungry, and you know what? I'd rather see him like this because look, PlayStation. They don't have to do nothing, and they're still selling so many consoles. Like they were number one last month, So it's like they don't need to do these moves because they're comfortable. They know the fans are gonna still buy their console, and they're happy with that. Like they're good. 2016 is gonna be a bigger year for Sony. So they're gonna have a lot more content, a lot more stuff for the PlayStation 4 too. So, but let me tell you, this holiday, woo. Microsoft is going crazy with content, man. So I'm very, very excited about that, man. Very, very excited. So, guys, look, we're going to take a short break. And once we come back, of course, we have fan mail. We have a lot of questions, a couple voicemails. And, Patrick, we're going to talk about Rare Replay, right?
We are finally going to give it the review it so thoroughly deserves.
All right, so we'll be right back after this.
Voicemail 786-2737-GTR.
DraftKings.com, everybody. You've been scouting players for your season-long fantasy football team for months. Put that knowledge to the test every week at DraftKings.com, America's favorite one-week fantasy football site, where you could start the season by winning $2 million in Week 1. It's the biggest fantasy football contest ever. $10 million in prizes are up for grabs, including $2 million for first place and $1 million for second. I'm going to win first place. 1 week fantasy means no season-long commitments. It's fantasy football on demand. Play where you want, when you want, with the players you want. You've never experienced football like this. Just pick your players, pile up the points, pick up your cash. That's it. This isn't fantasy as usual. This is DraftKings. Welcome to the big time. I can't wait, folks. I am a football nut. I'm going to be locked in from August until February with the NFL and playing DraftKings, so let's go. Let's sign up now. A few preseason games to go before the regular season kicks off, so hurry to DraftKings.com now and use our promo code GamerTag to play for free to win your share of the $10 million being given away in Week 1. Enter that promo code GamerTag for free entry now at DraftKings.com. That is DraftKings.com.
Voicemail 786-2737-GTR.
All right, so we're back here, Gamer Tag Radio 498. By the way, a couple weeks from now, we have our 500th episode, which is going to come out the end of August 31st, and we have a pretty big interview booked for that episode. I'm very excited about this. Been working on this for a while. We're going to surprise you guys. We're going to say what it is. We're going to surprise you, and I'm very excited. But the exciting part about all this is, man, can you believe this? 500 episodes. That's kind of crazy. And if you count all the E3 extra content that we're releasing that's not episodes, whew, we're up there. I think we probably like 600 or so, maybe. So very excited. You guys excited about 500 episode or what?
Of course. What a milestone. And what we have planned is pretty damn cool. I just
You hear Pete?
He asked like we're going to go, nah, not really.
But you heard Pete? You heard Pete? He's like, meh. All right, very quick pause. Let's talk about Rare Replay, man. All right, so right now we're going to start with our first review of Rare Replay. This is to celebrate the 30th anniversary of Rare. They created this compilation game of games that all the way to the most current game, not the ones in the Kinect, but more of like Banjo-Kazooie that came out for the Xbox 360. And it's cool because you will learn the history about their games, you know, even if it's old school, like some of them are Nintendo games, a lot of them are from Nintendo 64 days to like they have the Banjo-Kazooie, Conquer, Perfect Dark, things like that. Even Jet Fort Gemini, pretty popular game too. And they also have, my favorites, Battletoads, Battletoad Arcade, that only was available there, not for consoles. Been playing this now for a couple weeks, and the cool thing about this is that my girl, she's a huge fan of Via Pinata. We play that a lot during the Xbox 360 days. Awesome. And I was happy that they added this part of the collection. So she's been playing that nonstop. I created a monster, like how Paris, his son, is playing nonstop with Destiny. My girl's like that right now with Via Pinata. But when she's not playing, I've been playing, like checking out all the other stuff. Like I'm happy and I'm okay with the older content, but I think once I hit Battletoads and RC Pro-Am, like those are my type of like older games that I really, really like from Rare. And then after that, of course, Banjo-Kazooie, Perfect Dark. Look, there's 30 games celebrating their 30th anniversary, and this is only $30, $1 per game. And this is, to me, in my opinion, a must-have if you would like to check out like their past games and stuff. Now, here's the negative part I have to say, possibly before you talk.
Okay.
Is that once I start playing like Perfect Dark or Perfect Dark Zero, like those Xbox 360 games, I hate the time that you have to wait a little bit, because then you see the Xbox 360 logo loading and pops up. I love when I play the older games, I could just play, get out, go to the next game. Like it's easier for me to switch. But once I go to the newest games, it's just a pain in the butt, and I have to just wait there for a while. But those games are awesome. You know, just that little thing just bothered me a little bit, you know?
Well, understand, if I'm not mistaken, those games are much bigger in size, and it takes longer to load that game into the memory of the Xbox for you to play versus those older games like the what was it? Banjo-Kazooie, not Banjo-Kazooie, but like the Battletoads, the RC Prom. Those are games from the early 90s. Those aren't big at all. Those are the days where 60 megs was massive, you know? So I'm pretty sure it's not that big, you know, of a file to have to load into memory to play versus a Banjo-Kazooie, which sat on, you know, we're talking, you know, a gig of data on a DVD.
Well, here's the thing, though, Pete, that those games for the Xbox 360, this was like how they set it up. They have the older games in the disc, right? And then if you want to try out the other older games for like the Xbox 360, it downloads automatically digitally.
Right.
That's how they have it.
It's kind of you doing the backwards compatibility for Xbox 360.
Yeah.
For Rare
that's what
Replay.
it is.
So if you think about it, it's downloading the emulator, or it's running. It's got to fire up the emulator for the 360 and then light up the game or the file if you've got it downloaded. And if you haven't, then you've got to wait for it to download. But I mean, there's a lot of moving parts, especially when you're talking Xbox 360 games and playing them on an Xbox One versus the older games where you can run literally like on a Nintendo emulator. I mean. There's those type of emulators you could run on your phone and the game launches in seconds. So think of the technology in the background.
I don't want the people to think that, damn, this is like a deal breaker. No, trust me. It's just little things like that. It's for me, my opinion, you know, but possibly go for it.
You guys go ahead and do your review and we'll throw out the questions afterwards.
Okay. Go for it.
No, you guys just had it nailed on the head. The issue, like you said, Danny, is because the games that used to be Xbox Live Arcade games on 360, like the Banjo-Kazooie games and like Perfect Darks, that's why they're separate downloads and why they had to load separately. Because even though both the Banjo-Kazooie's originals are like 400 megabytes, they're still separate 360 emulation they had to load from the start. So that is unfortunate. I agree with you, Danny. I wish everything was self-contained because even, you know, a later game like Grab by the Ghoulies, which was a, you know, GameCube, Xbox original PS2 game, it loads in the submenu of every replay. It doesn't need a separate download. I wish they could have consolidated it all. Minor complaint. But other than that, really, you would have to only nitpick at this collection to really have any serious negatives. The only thing I really can point out is if you're going to play two players on any of the old 360 games, like say Perfect Dark or things like that, it makes you re-download your profile from Xbox Live because it's pulling your 360 version of your profile and adding it to your Xbox One. The issue is you have to do that for every extra player you want to add. So, for instance, if I want to play two-player, I can't just, you know, simply add a guest. I have to go in, get my friend to add in his old Xbox 360 account, his password, his username, log in, sign in, download his profile, and then we can play together. And if you want a third person, you have to have a third Xbox Live account. It doesn't have to be gold, but still, the people have to know their email address and password they use. It's really a pain in the ass. I'm not too enthusiastic about that. But again, really, that's about the only major thing I can come after with. The other only things, maybe some of the control schemes for some of the games are a little bit too wonky, namely Conker's Bad Fur Day. Can't really figure out what it wants to do with the Xbox One controller, I feel like, while on the other hand, the Perfect Dark games are more suited to that controller. So minor control issues aside, I'm a big fan of these games. Even like the older arcade games, which last week we said we were kind of meh on. After playing through a second and third time, I developed more of an appreciation for them once I learned how to play them because they're very, very hard games. But they have their own unique appeal to them. I like them. And on top of that, of course, I'm playing a crazy amount of Banjo-Kazooie, playing a crazy amount of Perfect Dark. Grab by the Ghoulies, lots of cool things. So really, even if you really only like are a big fan of a couple of these games, I still think it's worth owning it because it is only $30. It is 30 games. I do think it's a must own on Xbox One if you have any sort of nostalgic attachment to these games. And honestly, even better if you don't. If for some reason you just feel like you're really lacking a certain style of game on Xbox One, the Rare Replay collection probably has that game on it. Like, you know, 3D platformers, they don't exist on Xbox One at all right now. There's a lot of fun ones on the Rare Replay collection.
And here's the thing that I really, really enjoy about this game, about Rare Replay, is that every time you play a game, of course, besides the whole achievement stuff, there's this thing called stamps you unlock.
Yep.
And it helps you to unlock videos. Like they have like a bunch of documentaries about the making of different games. Like just recently, I just unlocked. I'm in level 7 right now, so I just unlocked the Killer Instinct documentary. It was really, really cool background story, like how they created the game and everything, where they have the original creators of each game. Like now I'm trying to unlock the Via Pinata documentary, which is cool. And they also have a section where it's about unreleased games too.
Yeah, that was the one that really got me excited.
That one you gotta be like on a higher level.
Mm-hmm.
So the more you play and the more you unlock those stamps, it will help you to unlock all that stuff. And they even have like music.
Yeah, like music you've never even heard, because Rare's music is really, really good. That's another standout, is they remixed all of the tunes for the past games that they have in the menus. They all sound fantastic. They need to make a Rare remix album, definitely.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love the special features, all that cool stuff. Like you said, incentive to keep playing. What I really like too is those retro challenges they have, which essentially take all the old arcade games and kind of make you do a series of quick little challenges, like get this many points, run away from all the enemies, get the highest score. And in my opinion, it's actually my preferable way to play those old arcade games, because instead of just playing for a high score like you usually would, it gives you something to do, a new way to approach those old experiences. You can do like a playlist a la Master Chief Collection, where you could run through, many different types of games, one after the other, like Micro WarioWare style. So just cool stuff like that mixes up the gameplay with the original stuff. I love that every game has its own separate autosave file, so you can just have an autosave for every single game in the collection. Just hop back in exactly where you stopped. Don't have to worry about stopping, saving, and quitting. It all autosaves as you go. Very easy to use, very convenient. Great collection. Really, again, you would just have to hate Rare's old catalog of games to not be on board with this. Because again, a little short on Xbox One content right now until Gears comes out, until the best stuff comes out later this year. I definitely would recommend this to anybody, because there's a lot of fun stuff on here that you're not going to get unless you also own a Nintendo console. Let's be honest. A lot of these styles of games just don't exist anymore.
Yeah, that's true. And here's another thing too. I want to, before we go to the questions, that let's say you're playing the older games, like let's say Battletoads, the original Battletoads that came out for the Nintendo system. That game is super hard. I don't know how people passed that back in the days, because to me it's really, really challenging. But here's the cool thing: when you play the older games, and let's say you die, or let's say you're playing RC Pro-Am and you made a mistake, you could rewind it for like a couple seconds and do it over again. So you won't die. So I was trying to unlock as many stamps as possible with RC Pro-Am Part 1, and I'll rewind it like 5 seconds before. Like it's pretty cool. You could rewind that anytime you want, and it doesn't affect like your achievements, doesn't affect like your profile or anything like that. So it's pretty cool. It's another option, because those older games, they get really, really tough, man. Like especially back then, I don't know how people play those games back then.
It's all they had,
without
man.
that.
They just made the best of it.
Yeah. And here's the thing too, like those older games, there was no way for us to save those games. Like I remember playing Battletoads. I used to have like my Nintendo system on, because once I turn it off, I have to start from scratch. So man, thank God that you could save. Yeah, thank God you could save games now, man. Like it's insane.
Yes, auto saving is amazing. Bless it.
But guys, so you you have any questions, Pete or Paris? No.
What's the cost of the game, of the collection?
$30.
$30.
US American dollars, so not sure how that works. But
If you didn't get the game for review, would you have spent $30 on it? And if you did, would you think it was worthwhile?
Yes.
Why?
Why? Because just with the Battletoads, RC Pro-Am, like that's one of my older favorite ones, and then the whole Nintendo 64 games that came out, like Perfect Dark, Banjo-Kazooie, Conquer. I really like those games. Like just $30 alone. Like I have Sega games that was like $20. That was from the Sega Genesis days and stuff. And to me, this is the best. Besides the Val collectors, what was the one that
Orange
had like
box.
The orange box?
Orange box.
This to me is the best combination as for games, because not only you're playing the games, but there's also challenges for you to unlock, like stamps, and then it makes you want to unlock like behind the scenes videos and stuff like that. Like I really like that stuff, and really entertaining. I've been playing it nonstop. Like I haven't even touched The Witcher, because I've been playing this like nonstop. So it's cool. I think there's a game for everyone in that. So
I think it's the key.
It's, for me personally, the only one that's missing, and I'm pretty sure it's due to licensing because Activision owns it, that's not on there, is GoldenEye.
Yeah, it's GoldenEye, it's Donkey Kong 64, Diddy Kong Racing, and Donkey Kong Country 1, 2, and 3. So yes, because
but I mean,
of Nintendo,
the Donkey Kong ones
QQ.
I can understand because that's on Nintendo licensing.
Yeah.
But GoldenEye itself, if you think about it, it was a rare game, and the licensing was actually bought by Activision back in 06. So I was looking it up. So that's why I'm pretty sure that's why it wasn't on there. But that would be a game that I would have been like, damn. That's one of the ones that I would have called all the homies from back in the day, like, yo, we got to redo this again. You know what I mean?
But you know what? I to me personally, I don't know if you agree with me, Possum. Before we go to the fan mail stuff, I feel that Perfect Dark to me was a better game than 007 because the reason why I said it is because they added a lot of new stuff in there, like bots and all this stuff that wasn't available for the original 007 game. You know, in my opinion, I mean,
no, I think you're right. I mean, again, nostalgia kind of affects everything, but Perfect Dark was the better version of that game. I guess the only thing maybe GoldenEye did better was the theme. If you love the Bond, the music was really good. But in terms of gameplay, yeah, no question. And again, it proved that with that 360 remake that is now, not I'm talking about Zero, I'm talking about the reboot of the original one that's also in the collection, they can still make that game work with two twin-stick analog controller. So it's still viable, still holds up, still just as playable. GoldenEye, trickier. I've tried playing that on 64 in recent years. It's really hard to go back and play that game. You can play GoldenEye Source on PC for free if you kind of want that vibe. I'd love for GoldenEye to come back. They've tried. It's failed every time, but it's still... I agree with Pete. I kind of wish it was on there just for the sake of having the collection of the completion. And I can understand the Donkey Kongs, but like I really would have liked Diddy Kong Racing to make it on there just because having a kart racer would have made the package perfect, like 100%, because I really miss kart racing games. And fortunately, if you don't have Mario Kart, then you're out of luck these days.
Yeah.
Welcome to Play It, a new podcast network featuring radio and TV personalities talking business, sports, tech, entertainment, and more. Play it at play.it.
All right, guys, it's time for my favorite part of the show, fan mail.
Fan mail at gamertagradio.com.
Fan mail.
Wow.
Oh, that was weak. Wow.
Damn,
Pete, are you sick, Pete?
Killed it. No, I'm just fan mail. There we go.
Oh my God. We have a lot of questions, a lot of emails, a couple voicemails. Which one we should start? Paris.
Do the Metal Gear one. Let's do the Metal Gear one first.
Okay. Who would like to?
I'll do it.
I'll go for it.
Since I couldn't give my opinion on Rare Replay, I might as well do Metal Gear. Are we ready?
Yeah, go for it. Yeah, go for it. Yeah.
All right, here we go. This one is from Gregory, and he says, "Hey guys, this is Greg from New Orleans. I wanted to ask Paris his reasons for not picking up Metal Gear next month at launch. I've been holding off on this subject for a couple months, but after listening to you guys' last podcast, Paris brought it up, and I'm in the same boat, and here are my reasons. I can't support Konami due to the treatment of their employees and how they are treating Kojima, excuse me. It disgusts me that a living legend in this gaming industry has been stripped out of the game that made Konami so much money. I just can't give that company my money, not directly at least. I'll have to pick it up used just so Konami can't make a dime off me. But anyways, I wanted to know your guys' opinion on the whole Konami situation." So I actually already replied to him, and thanks, Greg. We actually met him at E3, if you guys remember.
Yeah.
Yes, at the Xbox.
I remember him.
Thank you for the email. But my reasons are pretty much the same. I just think the way that Konami is now transitioning out of console games and just the way that they've basically written Kojima completely out of the game, I don't want to play this at launch. I'd rather, and my reasons aren't so much are for those, but also I'm not so sure the game's going to be that good at launch anyways. I'm expecting bugs personally. I think there's going to be issue with the game at launch. I'd rather wait and let the dust settle and see what everyone's saying about the game before I pick it up. And just like he said, I'd rather pick it up used or pick it up during a Steam sale or something like that to where I'm not paying full price for it. Because I don't think Konami deserves my $60 for this game just because of the way everything that's gone down for it. So I'll wait. I personally don't see me playing Metal Gear 5 until probably the spring, and they better hope they do it before Uncharted comes out. That's all I got to say, or it'll be even longer after that.
Okay. All right.
Wow.
Any other questions you guys want to read?
All right.
Yeah.
So our next fan mail is from David Romero. Longtime listener, first time fan mailer. From 2010 to 2013, spent more time than I would like to admit playing World of Warcraft. When the current console generation launched back in 2013, I looked into what big games I had missed during the previous 4 years that I had spent in Azeroth. What did I find out? Well, I found out that from 2010 to 2013 were pretty good years for video games, and I was dismayed to find out that I'd missed so many great titles. He froze his World of Warcraft account, blew the dust off his 360, and diligently set about clearing his backlog. 2 years later, his mission is complete, backlog is cleared, and he's done his own little victory dance.
All right.
Now he wants to know what he should do. Should he get a shiny PS4? And if so... Actually, sorry. And he's ready to jump into the current console generation. If the PS4 and Xbox One launched today and all the games available were launch titles, which game would you choose to play first?
We know what Danny would pick.
Nintendo Wii U. you're Paris. Paris.
Or Popeyes had a nap.
What is your opinion? PC?
No, he said if the PS4 and Xbox One launched today.
Okay.
Okay. Real talk. So you're saying if the PS4 and the Xbox One both launched today
with all the games that are currently available at market, what game would you choose to play first?
Come on, do we haven't had to ask me what game I would play first? You know what I'm playing first. Okay, Destiny aside, I will put that off to the side.
Thank you.
I put it off to the side. It would probably be The Witcher 3.
Well, which console?
I don't think it matters.
I have to pick the console?
No, but for your opinion.
I mean, if you're okay, let me rephrase the question and answer it this way. If the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4, if all the games were to come out at once for what we know now, I would probably pick the Xbox One, believe it or not, because just of the sum total of games. But I would probably still lean towards the PS4 if Destiny's a thing because of the exclusive stuff.
You said you're going to put Destiny on the side, you cheater.
I know. That's what I have to throw that in there, though. But all jokes aside, yeah, I would probably go Xbox One because when I just look at all the games that it has, but if I still had to say I'm not going to say that. I'll just say Xbox One. I'm going to stop making excuses.
Okay.
But Xbox One, I'll say.
Pawson?
There you go.
That's tough. There's so many genres to bounce between.
Pick one.
I know. I guess in terms of like wow factor, if I'm going to play something day one, I probably would go either Destiny PS4, because great ecosystem, great game, great exclusive content, or Xbox One Dying Light, just because compared to Dead Rising 3, I think that was a much better showcase of what next-gen zombies can be like, and still holds up as a really fun game to this day. So that'd be my answer. The Destiny or Dying Light are really good examples of what you can do with a first-person shooter with new technology.
Okay. What about you, Pete?
I think we already know that's going to be. I mean, Popeyes is a video
besides
game right
Destiny.
Now, so, I can't get a 2-piece on my Xbox, so I would have to say, knowing what I know now, I'd probably say Destiny on the PS4, which I don't have, just because of, not having the Hawk Moon, and which granted it's going to be available next month anyways. But maps, it's the preferred development platform for a lot of the games this generation. So, and I mean, that's just in sheer hours of gameplay. That's tested my relationship with the wife and everything. So I'm going to have to say it. Yeah. Destiny.
Well, see, and that's kind of the thing. That's why I was joking about a Destiny aside, because if I have to include Destiny into it, I'm getting a PlayStation 4 and I'm getting Destiny because it's the most fun that I've had on a console this entire console generation so far. Yeah. If PC is included into it, I would go with a PC just because that's where the majority of my games are. But yeah, if you're telling me console, it has to be Destiny because I was just looking the other day. I've played that game 20 days. I have 20 days of gameplay.
How many hours? How many hours?
How many of that is your son, though?
That is true, though. That is true. You know what? I would even say with my son, I'm probably still a good 14, 15 of them.
Okay.
He doesn't play. I don't let him play that much.
You heard that? I read that Phil Spencer has like over 300 hours of Destiny. Yeah. That's crazy. Yeah. There you go. You guys should be buddies, man. Best friends.
So is that the question? If Destiny had been a launch title, would it have been even more successful?
Oh,
It
yeah.
almost seems that way, right?
Yeah.
It will be huge. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, well, we're going to play some voicemails. I'm excited for this. I'm going to play... should I start with the Gamescom one?
You gonna do the negative one or the happy one first?
I want to start negative first and then end it with a positive one. All right, we're gonna play this voicemail about the Xbox One Gamescom press conference. Let's play it right now.
Hey guys, I just wanted to call in. It's been a while. I just wanted to really talk about Microsoft a little bit. I guess I'm a little disappointed. Everyone keeps saying they're knocking it out of the park, and I just don't see it. I mean, the backward capability thing is awesome, but it's still not there. I still can't play nothing. So, and then the games I really want to play, like Call of Duty Black Ops, still are not available. Gears of War, that's cool come November. Now, when it comes to Crackdown, I was one of the people that purchased that, probably more for the Halo beta than necessarily Crackdown, and actually thought it was a pretty cool game at the time. I mean, the mission structure was terrible, hunting down the 9 bosses, the way that went about. The gunplay was horrible, but building your character, going around the city, collecting orbs, and just becoming an ultimate badass was pretty awesome. But it was an okay game at best. And Crackdown 2 was a disaster. Crackdown 3 looked cool with the destruction, but I hope they have a little bit more up their sleeve than that terrible gunplay. When you go back to it, you'll know what I'm talking about. It's not a very good game when you return to it. Halo Wars is a game that Microsoft abandoned shortly after they released it, but it was a solid RTS. I'm a big fan of RTSs, so I'm never going to turn down another one. So I'm probably a little more excited about that than I am Crackdown, but I have not even plugged my Xbox in 3 months. Sunset Overdrive was a disappointment. I mean, I think the best thing they've released for me personally is the re-release of the zombie game, you know what I mean? State of Decay, which I absolutely love with all that Game of the Year stuff in it. But beyond that, I just have no reason to turn this console on. I haven't renewed my gold in over a year. I'm sitting at maybe 35, almost 40 games on my PS4. I got 5 or 6 on my Xbox. There's just really nothing to play. Halo, the Master Chief Collection was a disaster. It's playable now, but I've lost total interest. And who wants a game that holds 80 gigs of hard drive space on their console? I just can't be more disappointed with Microsoft, even though I have a console sitting there. I want to play games on it, but what am I going to play? There's nothing on that console that I can't already get on my PlayStation. It's third party. I keep hearing how they're knocking out the park, but I was like, what the hell is everybody talking about? Because I don't see shit on this console worth playing. So I just wanted to say that I'm very disappointed in what they've achieved so far. Come on, bring on the games. Let me see something worth playing. But I guess the opinions vary, and mine's clearly not in the direction where they want to go, and I try to sell it now, but it ain't worth $200. But either way, take care, guys. I love the show. Don't mean to be negative. I just don't see why there's anything to be excited about anything that Microsoft's doing. Take care. Bye.
Man, somebody was like very negative about this. I mean, what are your thoughts, guys? I mean, what else they could do? They're announcing new stuff, and there's some cool games there that I think the majority of people like, but I think he's not a fan of their announcements.
Oh, I'm going to assume that there's a certain style of game that either he likes a certain genre or he's honestly just wanting to see something brand new and different. And I can relate to that. But to me, when I saw gameplay of Scalebound and Crackdown and Quantum Break, that looked like next-gen gameplay to me. To be fair, it's still, archetypes of games that have worked in the past because, again, no one's crazy enough to throw everything out the window and try something brand new because games are way too expensive to do that these days. You still have to do your market research first. But to me, I saw the kinds of things that got me as excited when, I first saw Oblivion on 360, years ago. That reason why I bought that Xbox at that time. It's always going to be, to me, games that push my concept of I didn't know you could achieve that on a console, which I guess, is fun if you're not a PC gamer. PC gamer obviously takes all the wind out of those sails. But in terms of, being an Xbox One owner, I was thoroughly satiated by what I saw at Gamescom, got me hyped for this year and next year. But I can totally understand if he just didn't see anything that just made him go, oh, wow, I have to have that. Because I can understand that. I've gone through those phases because when you're a gamer for, 20 years, 30 years, like some of us, sometimes you just have that period where like, I'm just done for a while. I'm going to take a step back, take a break, come back when things have changed. And, maybe then I'll find something that gets me all excited again.
Yeah, well, hey, I definitely would like to make a correction because I know he mentioned about Crackdown 1 and Crackdown 2. They have two different developers, and I believe the third one is a totally different developer too. The ones that are working on the Crackdown 3, they were the studio lead. They used to be the older studio that worked on the first one, Real Time Worlds. They were the ones that worked on the first Crackdown
Okay,
game,
so Regent Games is the new developer Crackdown 3, led by David Jones, who was the creator and head of Real Time Worlds, made the first one. Yeah, so
there you go.
Same original core team, which is good because I loved Crackdown 1, and I guess I'll have to defend it for a second, but I love the shooting mechanics. I don't know why he hated them so much, but I thought it was a wonderful third-person shooter on top of all the crazy driving the car and jumping over buildings. I mean, that game had everything. And 2 was a disappointment, no doubt. I hated 2. But the first one just got everything right, in my opinion. Everything right.
Well, the only thing that I like about 2 was the co-op, 4-player, and the orbs. Yeah, that's it.
You can't
the
go
story
wrong with
was
orbs. Yeah, but co-op's fun, but, to me, craft a good game and then build around that first.
Yeah. Pete, Paris, anything else from there? No? You done?
No, I think we covered it.
Okay, so the next voicemail. This one is very positive. Let's play right now.
Hey, what's up, GTR? This is Bronze from Houston, Texas. I'm in the middle of listening to 497, and man, I'm driving right now. I wish I wasn't, so I could have like a little bullet notes, because you guys are getting me hype, like hype. When Paris said 2016 is going to be the 2007, with the review, you guys got so much insight. You guys are by far the best video game podcast. You guys should be number one. I mean, when I listen to you guys and you guys joke around, I feel like I'm just like part of your guys' circle. It's just like I'm all laughing by myself in the car. Poston, I mean, big ups to Poston, man. Like, I see this kid growing right before my eyes. Like each episode, he's getting better and better. So, I mean, I can see him having his own show in the future, and of course, Godfrey, Danny, big ups, man. You're the anchor of this crew. Really, I don't have any questions. I usually, tweet you guys, but there's just so much stuff, I wanted to say. But I do have my own version of Miss Cleo. I think that Halo 5 Warzone mode is going to be Cloud. What do you guys think about that? And all right, big ups again, man. Keep on doing what you guys doing. All the other podcasts, gaming podcasts, are lame compared to you guys. Big ups. Peace.
Wow. See, when I listen to voicemails like that, it gets me excited to just continue recording, and I love that, man. I love that. Like, and every time we record, I feel that we're talking also with the listener, like they're part of us. You know what I'm saying? And that's cool. I like that that feedback, and also the cool thing too that you mentioned, Possum. He likes that you're getting better and better each week. So that's good.
Oh, thank you. I'm trying, guys. It's been a work in progress, but again, I like that comment that watched me grow up. I feel like I've been growing up on this show with you guys, and that's something special to me. And now we're gonna get all into touchy-feely emotional stuff now. So.
Emotion from Boston.
Wait a minute.
Watch out.
No more cold as ice.
It's melting, man. I can't hold it for too longer. But thank you for the feedback, man. That's wonderful. We get to be
awesome.
So a special part of your day, man. That's what we try to be. And I love that comment, just saying like you feel like you're part of our circle, man. That is totally what we're going for. Because to you guys, it's just like having a conversation with a bunch of friends, and we get to put it on the internet and get response to it. Like, how cool is that, man?
Yeah.
I love
I
that.
know he mentioned some prediction. Miss Cleo, are you there? Because I know you mentioned something about Warzone, but I think that was answered already during E3 from 343 about the cloud.
Yes, it was.
It was? Okay. So it was not a prediction then by the listener. By him.
No.
Okay. Well, sorry, man. Miss Cleo is disappointed. Okay. Anything else? Do we have anything?
I have some statistics here because I just looked them up when we were talking about the whole Destiny playtime stuff earlier.
Yeah.
So I looked it up, and I'm kind of scared now looking this up. I went on Destiny Tracker, and my main character, I have played... Whoops, now I just lost it. I have played a total of 23 days, 1 hour, and 31 minutes. My son's character has played 8 days, 4 hours, and 31 minutes. And then we have a Titan that we kind of share that has 5 days and 14 minutes. So we basically played 38 days on this stupid game.
Well, congratulations, Paris. You have no life.
What I do, that's what's crazy. Where am I finding this time? I don't know.
That is kind of crazy. I mean, how many hours you play per every time you play a night? Like
I mean, it's because once you get past all the initial stuff, I mean, it's just raiding and you do the Nightfall or whatever, and you're doing Prison of Elders stuff. So that's a time sink right there. If I'm doing a raid, I'm blocking off at least a couple hours. Same with Skolas. It's a couple hours every time.
Okay.
26 hours total for me. I'm sorry, 26 days. 26 days.
You really don't.
And are you looking at the individual characters?
No, total overall, it's about 25, 26 days. My main character has 18 days, 19 hours.
Okay. But you've deleted characters, haven't you?
Yeah, I've already deleted two almost fully maxed out characters.
Quitter.
You got more time.
Quitter.
Hey, I have a total of 5 characters. Bring yours up above 27. Shut up.
Hey, I play other games, Pete. I'm a busy guy. I think that's it, right? With voicemails and emails. Yeah.
Well, we did have that quick thing I wanted to bring up. There was an article that came out a couple of days ago that talked about, and it was something that me and Paris had talked about, and we wanted to expound upon on the show. So in the article, it's actually Kotaku, and finally had an actual article that was actually readable for a little bit. Every time he goes to open up Witcher 3, he kind of gets overwhelmed with all of the side quests and stuff that needs to do, and ends up just giving up and going to watch Netflix. And I kind of feel the same way every time I fire up Witcher 3 to get invested and lost in time in the game. And I end up, especially now that I haven't played in like a week or two, it's like I go in and I'm like, I forget where I'm at and what I've done because there's so much stuff, and then I got to start reading tomes and books and quests, and I almost want to give up. I almost don't want to play anymore. And I know Paris had talked about the slow burn, and he's talked about this on several games already. Paris, what's your thoughts? When was the last time you've played The Witcher 3? And
Earlier
do you feel
today.
the same way? Okay.
I played it earlier today because I air quotes, I work from home on Thursdays. But I played it earlier today. But just like I said, because what you're saying, I foresaw this happening, especially with all the content and everything they're trying to put into this. And I think when you play games like Skyrim or you play games like Fallout, it's similar. So again, when Fallout 4 comes out, it's kind of a similar thing. I want to do a slow burn with it. There's just so many things to do that if you try to just run through it, you're going to get overwhelmed because there's so many shiny objects out there that grab your attention that it's overload. So the way I handle it is I come in, I'll do a couple quests, and then I'm out. No matter what, no matter where I'm at in the story, whatever, because if you keep going, you're going to get overwhelmed. And like I said, it's a slow burn. Like I can give you a perfect example. Fallout 3 took me a year to complete because when I did complete it, I did everything possible I could do in that game. I did. You know what I mean? And that's kind of how I feel with Witcher 3. It will be sometime in 2016 before I actually complete it. Same with Fallout 4. It'll be sometime in 2016 before I complete it because you can't. If that's the only thing I do, then yes. But the fact that I want to play Destiny, I'm going to want to play a Halo. I'm going to want to play a Tomb Raider. I'm going to want to play a Forza. There's these other games that are going to have my attention that it's better to just hold off.
Mm-hmm. Well, see, like how I finished The Witcher, what I did was I was playing like a couple of side quests a day, and then I'll go to the main quest. And then once I'm done, I'm done. But the only way I'll pick those side quests is whatever is close to me. If it's not anything to do with the card games, because I'm pretty bad with that, I won't play those quests. I only will play the ones that it's like me helping somebody from the village or defeating an enemy or a boss or the main quest. So that's how I finished the game. It took me some time, and I'm still playing like a lot of like side quests is still there. And I downloaded a couple new ones a couple weeks ago too. That I just have it there. I haven't finished. So, but yeah, I mean, it helped me to level up like 30, 34, 35 around there. So I'm good. I'm really, really good with the game, man. So
question: have you gotten your full Witcher gear? All the the like fully ranked up Witcher gear?
No, not yet. Yeah. Possible, but you?
No, I mean,
Before we
I guess
wrap it up.
I'm echoing your guys' statement. It's become a slow burn. I actually didn't originally intend it to be. I thought I would just be so absorbed with it until I finished it, but the scale was much larger than I could have comprehended. So yeah, again, as a side quest gamer, this game totally blindsides me with the amount of stuff it wants me to do before I even want to advance the story. So again, I think I'm like 26, 27 now. I'm slowly chipping away at it.
You're almost there, man.
I think my goal is I'll try to finish it by the time Fallout 4 comes out, because I can't have those overlap, because then I would never play anything else.
No,
Yeah,
don't forget,
that's
you
true.
still have plenty of downloadable content to hit.
Yeah, I'm
the
going
stuff
to
that's
leave that
coming
to the
out.
side. Let those expansions come out. I'll give them some breathing room, and then I'll probably come back for like a bundled deal later on, because again, once other games start coming out, I stop thinking about DLC entirely. I'm all for new experiences, new games.
Yeah. All right, guys, we're going to wrap it up. Head over to gamertagradio.com or play.it to listen to our past episodes, and make sure to subscribe, share it with your friends, and help us get new listeners. So make sure to spread the word. Also, give us a call, 786-273-7GTR. That's 786-273-7GTR. Or email us, fanmail@gamertagradio.com. We have a lot of questions here that we haven't read, but the thing is, a lot of them we already basically answered it before, so we don't want to like repeat the same thing over and over. You know what I'm saying? So if you guys or gals, if you can send us some pretty cool, unique questions. If we get a lot, we could do a full episodes just on fan mail. I'm down for that. I know we did that once, and it was very, very entertaining and fun. So yeah, keep on sending those questions, man. I mean, that's it. Well, you guys have anything to say before we wrap it up?
Yeah, I'll say one thing real quick. I got to go ahead and eat my own words. I got to apologize for what I said last week about Halo 5 in terms of the arena multiplayer, and what I interpreted to be in-game footage was the spectator camera. And many people have called me out on my BS, and I just want to be straight up and say I was wrong. I'm sorry. I just assumed. But yeah, thankfully, the actual game does not have any of that absurd red and blue outline stuff. And I'm not much of a shoutcast guy myself, so I guess I'll just skip that feature entirely. But just wanted to get out there and to say that, I'm aware. And in the future, I'll try to fact check myself a bit more, because like now that I went back and listened to that, I did sound really stupid when I said that. But that was me being a Halo fan in the heat of the moment, like, oh my god, what are they doing to my Halo? That was my childhood. But moving past that,
we're not perfect, man.
We're not perfect. We make mistakes, but I just want to go ahead and just owe up to that mistake of mine. And
cool.
Yeah, let's just good luck to 343, man. Expectations are super, super high for them. So I wish them the best in this final crunch time before it goes gold.
And make it shiny red, shiny blue for
Polish
Possum. All right.
I have one last thing to say.
Yeah, what's up?
I had another little birdie visit me.
Oh.
Oh no!
And my expectations for Halo 5 are at an all-time low. That's all.
Oh my god, Paris, really?
Yeah, really, seriously. If what I was told is true, and there's a 99.9% chance that it is very true, it's pretty much everything that I thought. So I'm not excited.
So you will stick with the multiplayer only, like Warzone?
Well, yeah. Again, I will buy it. I will play it. And I hope I come on the podcast and say I'm wrong, but I don't think I'm going to be wrong.
I think this birdie, I don't know.
If they mess up four-player co-op, then I guess we can all throw our hands up in the air and say, all right, we're done. But I mean,
but I don't want, but I don't want 4-player co-op.
No, I understand that, but I think at this point, as a Halo fan, I've accepted it. I've gone through my pouty phase, and now it's like, well, there's nothing I can say it's going to change their minds at this point. So I hope at least what they're trying to do is fun at the very least. So I guess I got to set all my expectations aside at this point and just be like, all right, new Halo, new experience, different developer. Let's see what y'all can do. Y'all had the warm up before. Let's see what y'all can actually deliver when all the pressure's on you.
I trust 343. I trust them.
What have they shown you that you should trust them, though? Let's be honest here. Let's be real for a second. What have they done that all of a sudden you trust them? They've honestly, Halo 4, Master Chief Collection, why should you trust
single player, well done. Single player wise, of course.
Convoluted story.
I mean, what else you want me to say, Paris?
I'm just saying. I'm just letting you know. In my personal opinion, 343 Industries has done nothing to garner my faith, my blind faith and trust that they're going to pull out the Halo franchise and make it great.
They took some time to fix the multiplayer. Of course, it took forever. And I played the beta of Guardians, and I had fun. I mean, what else do you want me to say? I mean, it's not. Look, I'm excited.
Different opinions.
Yeah.
It's an opinion. Yeah. Like I said, I could be 1,000% wrong. I'm just voicing my opinion. I'm not going to sit here quietly and pretend that everything is going to be great when I absolutely think it's not.
Okay. All right. P, anything else? You want to say something positive for once? We could end it good.
Why am I being singled out for the bad negative guy?
I'm messing with you. That's it? Okay, well, wrap it up then.
Yeah, we'll wrap it up. We're good.
We'll wrap it up. And Pete, practice saying FAMO next week, so it can sound better. It can sound like you were
you would have thought me just waking up 20, 30 minutes ago, I would have been like, okay, I would have had a deep, just woke up voice. No, that came out like a dying quail.
Feed me, please.
Not even. I haven't drank.
There's got to be your last words now, Pete. You've got to be like.
I did have Popeyes though.
Yeah, but see, when they say Destiny, he's like, woo! He's ready.
Yeah.
It's a knee-jerk reaction, Danny. Even if you don't play the game currently, you're still like, Destiny? I mean, it's a fun word.
All right, we got to wrap it up. We're done. All right, guys, until next week, we're out. Peace. Thanks for listening. And remember, share with your friends. Peace. Until next week, we're out.
Peace.
What's up, Gamer Tag Radio? How you guys doing? This is Keon calling from Baltimore. As a side note to you, Danny, I just wanted to say very quickly and briefly, this is an old topic, I know, but I have to bring this up real quick. Sunset Overdrive is an awesome game. That's all I'm going to say. Love the game. It took about a good 2 hours to get into it. But man, oh man, I am with you, brother. I really, really hope they make a sequel. You guys take care. Bye-bye.
You're listening to Gamer Tag Radio. Be sure to like us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter. Thanks for listening. Tune in next week.